Hello ducklings, my name is Sanniz. I'm back with a new video, and this time I thought it was time for a do-it-yourself one because we haven't done it for a while. But first, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share, and press the notification bell. See you soon. Hello ducklings, my name is Sanniz and I'm back with a new video, and like I said before, it's a do-it-yourself video. I'm gonna first start to show how I did it, but not like a completely tutorial, because there's so many more that do it on the internet better than me, because I have handicap in my hands and that type of things. So you can always Google different type of things, but I want to inspire you to actually be creative. And now when it's time for start buying things for Halloween, it's gonna be even easier to find those things you need for a darkly inclined jewelry. But first, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share, and press the notification bell. And now first the tutorial, or whatever you should call it. And here I show that this is how it's gonna look when I have done this main part ready with spider web, and this is how it looks like before I start doing it. And of course we're gonna need some tools, and depending on what you have, but I'll show some of them I usually use when I'm doing my jewelry, and it's at least some of the different ones. And of course we need a hammer and something to use when we're gonna use the hammer, and I'm gonna tell later why. But this is to show what I need. And of course we're gonna need wire, and I use two different sizes. I'm gonna put it down in the description box which sizes I use. And now we're gonna go further, and I showed that this is the one we're gonna make first by the wire, and you need to cut off a bit, and how much depends on how big you want to do it, but I just go for a certain length, and then I go to the middle, and you don't have to use any tool, but it goes a little nicer if you just bend it around this type of one, and see that you got two at the same direction. And I think it looks really nice when the wire is like this, so you can spin it, and depending on how tight you want to have everything looking, so you decide, and that's of course gonna decide how long you're gonna have to use wire for too. And in the beginning you don't have to do this hole that small, but we're gonna tighten a little more later. And I use this thing to get a good size, and now we're gonna see if that was enough, and I thought no, it was not enough, I can do a little more. So I do a little more, and of course I'm gonna try that. And fourth is that you're gonna stick the ends through that gap in the other part, and then put them fast that type of way. But now I tighten this one so it's not that big, because we don't need it. And now we're gonna just see that I have the length for it, and I see that's enough. But first I'm gonna have to straighten it out once, because I'm gonna need to work a little with the copper or aluminium that I use, and this makes it a little more stiffer, and it's not gonna be too soft, so it stays in place. It's not hard, because then you're gonna use heat and other stuff for it, and I don't have that type of things, but this make it stay harder. And you don't have to do too much. Then you're gonna bend back to shape again, because you want to have it as round as possible. And when you come to the other end, you're gonna stick those ends through the hole, so you know that everything is in the right length, so it suits the size you want. And the meaning is you're gonna bend those over, but cut them a little smaller, and then you're gonna try to flatten it, so you don't gonna punch hole in your skin or something if you come too close with it later. but I have not the perfect hand day today, and because I have to show it's going to be even harder, so I can look a bit clumsy and I can look a bit shaky, but this is my handicap in my fingers after the traffic accident, and this is why I can have a hard time also with doing my makeup, especially when it comes to the eyeliner. But people don't see on person all the time that I have an injury or something else going on, and this is my problem. This is why I'm never gonna start selling my products, because my hands is not working that proper. I can't do perfect things, but I try my best and I like to do it. So it's a little therapy to do these things. And as you see, I try to get the ends to not stick out and everything, and get them as flat as possible, but still keep everything in place. And because I had to show this time, I already done two, and they went much smoother when I did them yesterday. So of course this one had to be a bit arsy and I was swearing a bit. At least there's no sound from that video, so you don't have to listen to that part, because maybe it's not that nice to hear me saying some not that good words all the time. But at least I try my best to show how you're doing, and when you're satisfied and have the edge there, you can take it back on, so you can do it. And then you're gonna use the hammer again to just make this material. There's some reaction in the material when you do it, so it's not soft anymore, because it's a very soft wire I'm using, and that's why it's easy to bend and that type of things. So I do this maybe 1 or 2 laps or something, and then I take it off. And of course I'm gonna do a little more on the plate. I have 2 just to have that, and then I can do a little harder, but this is just to make the wire stiffer. But it's not stiff in that type of case. It don't mean that you can do whatever you want. It's not gonna stay in place, because you need the other things to make metal hard enough. But at least this is stiff enough for doing what I'm gonna do. So this is how I did this one. So now it's time for next step in our jewelry making. So now we're gonna show how I did this like spider kind of web thing. And of course I'm gonna use a lot thinner thread, and like I said before, I'm gonna put down the measurement I used, but it's up to you what you want to use and what you think is okay to work in. I choose this one. It's very soft and it can easily break too, so just remember that. And I'm gonna show how I start. And of course I use the holes in the beginning to make things I can put it in place, because you need to wrap it sometimes, and sometimes you even need to use a tool to make it stay in place, or that when you cut off the end, that is not gonna stick up too much, you're gonna punch skin or something. And it's gonna take a little while because I'm not that good in my fingers, but I hope you can see what I'm doing. And when you're satisfied with the laps around and everything, so then you can take off the little end that is, and try to make it tight so it's not gonna stick out too much. And now we're gonna start making a spider web, and I start with doing like a little bow. And you see taking the thread over the ring and go behind, and then I put that end between the bow and the ring itself, and then I drag, and you'll only drag it enough so you're gonna have like a little hole there. You're gonna need that hole later, so don't do it too small. But there you see the first bow, and don't drag too much and too hard, because you can actually deform the ring that we have created already. So just enough, and if you take too hard with this thin thread too, it can break, and you don't want that either. And the problem with those thin thread that is they can, because they are bending all the time, so you can get like a knot type of thing on them, so they can be a little harder in the next step to get through. But no worry, just take it easy and take your time, and you're probably gonna find out what type of thing that works best for you. This is how I'm doing it, and I'll just show how to start, and it's meant for you to do it all the way around till you have filled the whole circle with bows. So I'm gonna show just in the beginning. I'm not gonna do a whole ring because then the video should be way too long. But I show so you got a little idea how you can do it. It's other type of ways you can do if you start watching YouTube videos too. Now I had done a complete lap, so now it's time to go to the next row, and it's the same when you go to the row after each other. So this is now when you're gonna stick through this little hole. That's why you need it to not tighten it too much, because you need to be able to take the thread through it. And then you take it through, and when you go back with a thread, first you can create a little bow, and if you push a little gun it's easier. You can also use the tools after to do the bows a little more neater if you don't think they're okay. Then you're gonna take the thread from the back side between the two bows, and then you're gonna pull the string or wire, but not too hard because then it breaks. And you continue like that all the way around, and you do the same when it comes to the next lap. And if the thread wire is not enough, you're gonna have to fasten it and then take a new one and fasten it first, and then continue like you had a whole wire still to work with. But it's through the little hole, and when you come to the back side, you're gonna take it to the left between the two bows you have on the left side of. So you always go to the left from the hole and between the two bows. And you're gonna continue this way as much as possible. It's up to you how much you want to do. Maybe you don't want to do a whole circle the whole way out, but in the end you're gonna see that it's gonna be harder to get through every hole. So you might skip some hole in the end, but it's up to you what you want to do and not want to do. But this is the way I do. And excuse if I still sound a little nasal, because I still have problem with my sinuses. So I try my best to talk so you can hear what I'm saying. But I show a little how you do it. So I hope you got a little clue how to do it. And this other type of pattern to do if you Google on YouTube too. You don't need to do just this. And you can do it like a spider web or your dream catcher or whatever. And now I show that it's up to you how you want to decorate. If you are fine, you can even put beads when you're doing the wire, if you have beads small enough to fit between. And here I choose those for my earrings. And of course you need something to lock your necklace with. And you're gonna need something to decorate with. I choose to have Bats and Ankhs, of course, because I'm darkly inclined, I'm a Goth. And you need probably a lot of rings too. And of course I'm gonna use the thin wire too when I put things. And chain for a bracelet, and of course I'm gonna do a necklace too. So the bracelet I'm not gonna show. But here I show that I already put on the bats, and I used the wire to put them in place. And then I show that I want to have ankhs in the bottom. For them I used the ring, so it's gonna look like this. Because I'm gonna use the two hooks for earrings, I'm gonna have to put them together with rings too. And this is how it looks like when they are done. And I thought it turned out really well. And then you do the same with that, and you put things together, and that's all for now. So that was how I did things and put it together. And you can always do your other way. You can put in beads, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you to use your imagination. and you can use rings to fasten things. You can even use the wires. I'm gonna put down the different wire sizes I used in this video so you can take a look if you want to do something like that. But I actually did one extra thing. I did a bracelet, but this is very simple to do. It's just a chain, and I did so it should go like 2 laps, and I put a lock on it, and I put a lot of small ankhs, and it's even a little bat on it to match everything else. And like you can see, this is how the necklace turned out. And I did it in that type of length, so it's gonna look good with the most gothic outfits. And of course we had the earrings, and I thought everything came out very cute. I really like it. And like you see, it's not hard to actually do your own things. You don't have to buy everything. You can use whatever you want. It's up to you what you want to do. And this was all for this time, and if you like the video you can put the thumbs up. You can of course put it down too, because it's still an interaction with me. And please subscribe, comment and share, and press the notification bell. And also take a look that you still are subscribed, because sometimes people are disappearing even if they didn't know about it, because YouTube take them away. I don't know why, but at least check that out and be nice to each other, stay safe and be weird, because we are still living in a very crazy world. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Love you all.